Welcome back to Ask Literature, where we dive deep into the world of words, ideas, and movements that shape the literary universe. Today, we're going to talk about a fascinating, complex topic: postmodernism. So, what is postmodernism, and why has it been such a pivotal moment in literature? Postmodernism isn't just a movement, it's a way of thinking, of seeing the world. It's a reaction against the ideas of modernism, which had dominated much of the first half of the 20th century. Here, modernism sought to find universal truths, order, and meaning in the chaotic world. Postmodernism embraced the chaos. It questioned the very idea that any one truth or any one story could explain the complexities of human experience. At its heart, postmodernism is skeptical of grand narratives, those overarching, all-encompassing stories that try to explain history, progress, or even human nature. It challenges the idea that there is a single objective reality that can be understood or represented. Instead, postmodern thought suggests that reality is subjective, fragmented, and constructed through language, culture, and power dynamics. This makes it a highly self-reflective and at times ironic mode of thought. Postmodern literature often plays with the idea of storytelling itself, questioning the nature of authorship, the reliability of narrators, and the linearity of time. One of the most distinctive features of postmodern literature is its playfulness. It doesn't shy away from mixing genres, incorporating pop culture references, and blurring the lines between high and low art. You might read a novel that jumps from a detective story to a philosophical essay, or a narrative that loops back on itself with no clear beginning or end. This is the beauty of postmodern literature. It's experimental, bold, and often deeply entertaining. Now, you might wonder, how does postmodernism differ from modernism, which also dealt with themes of alienation, fragmentation, and the search for meaning in an increasingly complex world? Well, modernism was still deeply concerned with finding that meaning, even if it acknowledged that the process was difficult and fraught with uncertainty. Postmodernism, on the other hand, embraces the uncertainty. It revels in the ambiguity and suggests that perhaps there is no ultimate meaning to be found, or if there is, it's always shifting, elusive, and shaped by cultural and social forces. Postmodern literature also tends to be more self-aware, or meta as we might call it today. Writers like Kurt Vonnegut, Thomas Pynchon, and Italo Calvino, to name a few, often break the fourth wall, addressing the reader directly or drawing attention to the fact that they are, in fact, telling a story. This self-referential style invites readers to question not only the story being told, but also the process of storytelling itself. Who is in control of the narrative? Can we trust the author? Is there even an author in the traditional sense? And speaking of control, postmodernism is deeply invested in the idea that power and language are intertwined. French philosopher Michel Foucault argued that knowledge and power are inextricably linked, and postmodern literature often explores how language can be used to control, manipulate, or liberate. This leads to some fascinating explorations of identity, gender, race, and class in postmodern works, as writers interrogate the ways in which societal norms and structures are created and maintained through language and narrative. Let's talk about a few examples to bring this all into focus. One of the most famous postmodern novels is Thomas Pynchon's Gravity's Rainbow. It's dense, difficult, and filled with conspiracy theories, alternate histories, and bizarre characters. The novel doesn't follow a traditional plot structure, and readers are often left questioning what is real and what is not. This is classic postmodernism, asking us to question not just the story, but the way stories are told and consumed. Another great example is DeLillo's White Noise, which explores how media and technology shape our perceptions of reality. The novel features a protagonist obsessed with death, living in a world bombarded by advertisements, television shows, and constant streams of information. It's a critique of modern consumer culture, but in true postmodern fashion. It's also funny, absurd, and deeply self-aware. Postmodernism also engages with the concept of pastiche, essentially the practice of borrowing from multiple sources without necessarily paying homage to anyone in particular. This is different from parody, which mocks or critiques its source material. Pastiche, on the other hand, is a kind of neutral imitation, mixing and matching styles, genres, and cultural references to create something new. It's about college, about recognizing that nothing is truly original and that everything is a remix of what came before. You see this in works like The Crying of Lot 49 by Pynchon, or even House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski, which combines elements of horror, academic writing, and psychological thriller. One of the critiques often leveled against postmodernism is that it can sometimes feel nihilistic or overly detached. If there is no objective truth, if everything is relative, then what's the point of art, literature, or even trying to understand the world? But many postmodernists would argue that this very uncertainty is what makes literature and life so rich. By questioning the stories we've been told, by breaking down the barriers between genres, high and low culture, and different forms of media, postmodernism opens up new possibilities for creativity and expression. In literature, postmodernism has given rise to some of the most innovative and thought-provoking works of the 20th and 21st centuries. It's a mode of writing that invites us to question everything, to embrace the unknown, and to find beauty in the fragmented, the chaotic, and the unexpected. So the next time you pick up a postmodern novel, don't expect a straightforward story with clear answers. Instead, embrace the ambiguity, the playfulness, and the freedom that comes with questioning the world around us. That's it for today's exploration of postmodernism. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let me know what postmodern novels or theories intrigue you the most. This is Ask Literature, and I'll see you in the next video.